What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Abe, and we're going to go through the patch notes for January of 2019. So let's just get into it and see how it goes. All right, so January 2019, this comes out tomorrow if you're watching this the moment the video goes live. We've got a few changes in here, so here we go. We got the features and changes, the graphics. A new dissolve effect will now play when after mining efforts deplete all mineral resources from an asteroid. So that's a long time coming. Game's been out 16 years almost, and yeah, so that's good. New player experience. They upgraded the upgrades within the Seeker investigation have been redesigned to be easier to understand, and so it no longer relies on the redeem queue, which is good. Ship scanning. A strategic cruiser will now list its fitted subsystems. So instead of just viewing its cargo. Structures and deployables added an extra warning when offlining the last structure service module, which would put the structure into low power mode. It's now no longer possible to redock at an upwell structure in high sec while having a criminal timer and flying any ship except a capsule. This is now behaving the same way as for stations. User interface, modified attributes to show info windows that cannot be accurately determined to be positively or negatively affected by are now colored yellow. So if the attributes in the show info windows that can't be accurately determined whether they're positive or negative will be colored yellow instead of red or green. Added a shortcut for open ship maintenance bay. Saved location folders can no longer be created with identical names. Kill mails where a structure is the attacker will now include the structure owner's alliance. Previously, only the corporation was included. Activity tracker can now be opened in a windowed mode. Fixed an issue with the preview window display. Search history now visible in the Eve search if you press backspace when the input box is already empty. Fixed an issue with the removal of bookmarks. Clicking the bill issued notification now opens the appropriate tab in the corporation wallet. Fixed an issue where the look at command was not working correctly for signatures and anomalies. Fixed an issue with the search input in the map. Fixed an issue where selecting show on map in the show info window of a corporation would display incorrect results. Fixed an issue where the map lines were too dim. And renamed the My Colonies map filter to My Planetary Production Colonies for clarity. And getting into some defect fixes. Drones and fighters removed the variations tab connection between the Dragonfly and Gecko. Under gameplay, they fixed fixed kill reports not generating when ships are destroyed by sentry guns. Fixed an issue where wormholes would sometimes not correctly expire over downtime. This could lead to static wormholes reappearing at the same location as the previous one, or wormholes that lead to different locations in different directions. Changed the name of the Absolute Booster to better reflect its expired status. Brain freeze cerebral accelerator contracts can now be searched for, which is an interesting thing to fix on what will end up being the 15th, which is when all of those accelerators stop being functional. Fixed the input materials for the Frostline Clavicula integrated analyzer module so that it requires both a data analyzer and a relic analyzer. Under graphics, they corrected the year number in the Yule Festival YC121 skin banners, adjusted the scenery and hierarchy combat sites to reduce performance impact, fixed a minor sound defect on the Sancho fighter shadow, fixed an issue that caused the tether graphical effect to disappear a few kilometers before the tether effect is removed, addressed an issue where visuals for Triglavian modules were not appearing. On implants, the following implants no longer affect fighters. They only affect drones, and it's the Bumblebee, the Yellow Jacket, the Hawkmoth, and Goliath drone tuners. Under localization, they changed ship ambiance to ship ambience in the audio menu settings. It just changed a letter. On the market, they fixed an issue that could result in searching the market without any parameters, leading to having to close and reopen the market window. The Synesis blueprint can now be searched in contracts. Under modules, rigs, and charges, added a note to the description of the industrial core modules to indicate that its effects are subject to diminishing returns when paired with other modules affecting the same attributes. Being tethered to an upwell structure will no longer prevent an interdictor from activating interdiction sphere launchers. Once launched, the bubble will prevent the ship from being retethered until it expires. Corrected the meta level of the stand-up XL Energy Neutralizer 2, added repackaged volume to the Capital Tractor Beam modules, added a correct packaged volume to the Industrial Core 2 module, removed input materials from copying time efficiency and material efficiency jobs for the stand-up XL set Laboratory Optimization 1 blueprint, added a link to Spectre Fleet Alliance in the description of the Spectre Fleet modified Entosis link, clarified the description of the Electronic Superiority Command burst charge to list the module groups it affects, set the capacity attribute to 0 for all capacitor booster charges to avoid confusion, corrected the launcher group attribute on XL cruise missiles. For the new player experience, they fixed an issue where some users were not receiving skill rewards from the Seeker investigation. In PvE, several objects were moved in the Independence Combat anomaly so that the NPCs will no longer be blocked or spawn inside objects. That's nice. Museum Arcana NPC bounties have been reduced. Objects in the Worlds Collide mission have been moved slightly to make sure players and enemies are less likely to become stuck. Various typos have been fixed in combat site messages. Sancha's nation attempted to expand its borders into the Serpentis drug outlet Dead Space complex, but the Guardian Angels caught them and put a stop to it. The errant Sancha NPCs in the Serpentis drug outlet have been replaced by the correct Serpentis NPCs. Science and Industry, ancient relics can now be repackaged and resold if they get unpackaged by a failed attempt to start an invention job. Stations in Thera will now correctly respect standings from the Sanctuary when calculating reprocessing taxes. Set the volume of the Ascendancy implant blueprints to 0.01 cubic meters to match other blueprints. Under ships, the show info window is now showing the corpse hold capacity for the Blood Raider capital ships, corrected the value of the stance switching time for tactical destroyers when shown in the compare tool. It is no longer possible to launch unassembled T3 cruisers into space. That's nice. Removed the unload to cargo hold option from loaded charges in a module fitted to the monitor and replaced it with the more appropriate unload to ammo hold. Corrected the drone mining bonus on the Arbitrator to remove its impact on ice harvesting drones. Fixed an issue that caused booster bays and corpse bays to not appear correctly in the show info window tabs, attributes tab of ships. Under skills, fixed a sporadic issue with training of skills while logging in. The client was sometimes still using the old skills, which could lead to wrong values in the fitting window or could block starting industry jobs due to a mismatch in the calculated duration of jobs between client and server. Updated the attribute descriptions used by the bomb deployment skill to make it clearer that the skill reduces bomb launcher reactivation delays. Structures and deployables fixed a problem where the autopilot would not correctly warp to a structure if it was still anchoring or if the pilot lacked docking access. Added a note about decay times to the descriptions of mobile warp disruptors. Fixed an issue that would cause an Upwell structure's timer to not show after warping onto its grid. Transferring ownership of an Upwell structure now correctly kicks any controlling pilot and deactivates any active modules. Renaming an Upwell structure now correctly requires the station manager or director role. The Dracus faction Fortizar now correctly applies its fuel consumption bonus to all engineering service modules. Adding an extra character to the dynamic part of Entosis command node names to reduce the chances of duplicates. Names will now be of the form AB12, previously were A12. I don't know what that means, but sure. NPCs killed by structure fighters now correctly pay out bounty to the controlling pilot and their fleet. Kills with structure weapons do not pay bounties, still do not pay bounties and will be fixed in a subsequent release. Green safety settings no longer prevent the attacking of an Upwell structure of a war target's corporation or alliance immediately after joining an alliance. Fixed a bug that items in the Corp delivery hangar in Upwell structures did not show in the contract creation window. It is now possible to copy contracts for items which are located in the Corp delivery hangar of Upwell structures. And let's see, we're getting into technical. Fixed an issue that prevented moving ammo between fitted weapons. Fixed an issue where charges could get stuck in an empty fitting slot if the module was removed while charges were being loaded. Fixed an issue with remapping solar systems that would sometimes lead to broken or duplicate Entosis command node spawns. Fixed a client performance problem which happened when delivering many industry jobs in one go. Fixes have been made to make New Eden a safer place. That's vague and mysterious. Text and descriptions, various text, grammar, and punctuation fixes. And into the user interface, which is a long one. The show info window for courier packages freight container will now display correctly. Places folder windows are now refreshed as expected, even when the Places tab is not visible, when adding or removing locations or when jumping between systems, for example. Dual invite dialog no longer opens with exclusive focus, and there is now a confirmation dialog step to properly accepting a dual. Slightly increase the opacity of selected window tab to more clearly show which one is currently selected. Improved the display of some corporation member management tabs if no data was found with the current filter. Fixed overlapped options in the contract search window. The compare tool, the width of the attribute filter pane can now be increased a bit further to be able to read the full description of attributes. The compare tool, they fixed a minor display issue with some attributes. Fixed a minor overlap between the duration text and the show info icon for boosters in the augmentations tab of the character sheet. Reformatted the legality tab in the show info window for illegal items and for factions so that the text can be read properly without overlapping or being cut off. Fixed the dragging of landmarks images from their show info window so that they have a correct text and image. Fixed a missing text string in the escape shortcuts menu. Improved the drag and drop behavior of search results when searching for recipients for a new email message. Jettisoning a corpse no longer displays an inaccurate error message. Window shown when selecting view contents on a ship now correctly named items in ship. Corrected the names of various edit shortcut windows. Fixed an issue where a fleet setup wouldn't load correctly if its name contained capital letters. Evemail. Reduced the max size of the reading pane slightly to ensure that it can never completely obscure the list of mails. Evemail. Character limit can no longer be surpassed by dragging a link into the message box after the limit has been reached. Removed the long defunct sovereignty blockade unit group from the overview settings. Fixed issue that could result in duplication of non-functional agent dialogues. Fixed an issue that caused inaccessible structures to briefly appear in the overview when undocking. Added a display of the character limit for the description of bookmarks. This limit already existed but was just not shown. Addressed issue that could lead to unclear messaging when attempting to save a bookmarked location with a note that exceeded character limit. Fixed an issue that would cause the menu not to appear when right-clicking on an Ansiblex jump gate in a ship's cargo. To avoid unnecessary confusion, the loading bar shown when canceling an insurance attempt on an already insured ship displays processing instead of canceling. Improved the clarity of the warning message provided when boarding a strategic cruiser. The descriptions of several upgraded ore variants have been updated to clearly state how much of an improvement they are over their standard cousins. Clarified the error message provided when attempting to activate a module on a target in the wrong inventory group. Fixed an issue that would cause significant frame rate drop while typing long mails or notes. Fixed a missing text string for the structure transfers option in the corporation window for members without director roles. The factional warfare progress bar no longer flashes after the system is lost. Updated the info panel so that missions that were previously showing the text read mission journal for details now display read details with an option to click to open the details window. So that's it for January. We had a bunch of input in some of the most recent videos, so I'm going to try to get through those as I learn them and can record intelligent videos about them. But thanks for watching, and yeah, stick with me, and we'll see you in the next video.